Recording has started.
There's a thin line between heroism and madness.
Here the line fades to nothing at all. This is a world of capes and lunatics.
And nothing.
Today, it's Saturday morning. We've got to pull Charlie Esser away from raising the next big Hollywood talent. And Lilith Hellfire, she's here. We just got to get her out of that honey tree.
I'm sober, and I'm in my pajamas.
Well, a very rare Capes and Lunatics starts right now. Hello, welcome to the Capes and Lunatics. I am Phil. That handsome young thing in New Jersey is
Charlie, the Professor Esser.
And the terror of the Tampa single scene.
Yo, it's Lil Hellfire. I gave everybody a break last night. That's the only reason why I'm sober. Don't get used to it.
Yeah, I thought we were going to say she's the terror of the 1,000-acre wood. 100-acre wood. How many acres is that? I can't wait to see
Christopher Robin. Like, I'm going to see it today, so I'm trying to.
Oh, good. You know, I think you're actually the demographic for that.
Yes.
It was because I was reading someone saying like, "What is the demographic for this? Is it beaten down adults that need to reconnect with their childhood, children that don't want to be children?" It's like, I guess it's a weird demographic, but I'm excited, and Tristan wants to see it too.
Beating down millennials.
Yeah.
Well, that is the defining feature of the millennial generation, is they have been ground by the slow stone of life.
We're mad as heck, and we're not going to take it anymore.
That's why we drink more and get married less. Anyway,
hey,
what's up?
You got a formula. You got a formula.
Well, I actually made notes.
You did.
Yes.
There's our gentleman we know and love.
Thanks, Reach. Well, this actually came out last week, but we were doing our big Fantastic Four thing. We never discussed the whole Ruby Rose Batwoman thing.
Oh, you mean the actress Ruby Rose? And
yes.
Nerds are jerks. Yeah.
Because I guess she's not lesbian enough. I don't know.
Or maybe
supposedly, but I don't know. I don't feel like she's a friend to the community. She did out Demi Lovato. I'm just saying, like, I understand. Like, I get what the person that started the whole thing was saying. And then somebody blew it out of proportion, like, as media does.
Was this not white males angry at female superheroes? I just
no,
assumed
it's
she left
actually one
Twitter
of Demi
because
Lovato's fans that's kind of started this, and then everybody else jumped in because they don't like the casting. So it's.
Oh, okay. Well, you know.
I mean, I'm a fan of Orange Is the New Black, and I just go, "Oh, she's just the female Justin Bieber." It's as a joke, and I just have to reserve judgment. Everything I've seen her in, I don't think that she could carry a lead role from what I've seen. I think she's great as like a side character as long as she doesn't have too many lines, and I just hope that she proves me wrong.
Yeah.
That's all. Just reserving judgment.
I think they should cast
a Batwoman show.
That's me.
I don't know that we need that, but
I'm just worried because like the only things I've seen about the show is like, oh, she's like a street fighter. I'm like, are they going to skip like that whole getting kicked out of the Marines? Yeah, I don't know.
I thought she was a circus performer.
No,
that's the original.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah, no, the modern one, she gets kicked out of the Marines for don't ask, don't tell.
Yeah. Which it's dated itself because that's so maybe I don't know. Maybe that's why they're skipping over it because that's not relevant anymore.
You can make it a big conspiracy or something else.
Yeah, well, or she maybe just slept with a superior officer or a lower officer, and that'll get you drummed out of the service too.
Only your superiors don't like you. Like, yes, it's on the books, but it's a whole thing.
That was the whole thing with Don't Ask, Don't Tell, is that it was used against people by saying, well, we figured it out, and even though you weren't supposed to, it's like, well, we don't care. People are evil.
Yep.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. All right.
Okay, but no, that's interesting to me just because, like I said, usually it's that nerd. It's a whole different group of nerds getting upset about something. So,
It's not
although I've never gotten, I've never understood the idea of getting upset when people out other people. Just because I kind of feel like that's a regressive attitude to have. That
but it's also somebody's own personal business, and it's up to them to do it when they want to do it.
You're basically taking the choice that a person can.
And while that is true, the fact of the matter is that once you live your life, you live your life. Unless you are basically, there's two kinds of people who don't want to be outed: people that aren't honest with who they are, or people that are hiding who they are.
You have to remember she was also a Disney kid at the time too, so she could have really messed up all her money and things like that too. So it is what it is.
I don't know. Yeah, but I think Disney is like the one place I think that you could have a safe space on that. And I just
don't tell James Gunn that.
Oh, well, that's because
that's a different thing.
Yeah.
Like I said,
it's not a sexuality. I'm sorry.
Yeah, no, that's
what those TED Talks say. I'm sorry, it's not.
No, and my whole thing with James Gunn, it is looking like Disney did jump the gun. As they're saying. Hey, I don't write the headlines. Literally, everyone else does that.
Did you get that from the New York Post? I feel like that was a New York Post headline.
I don't know. It was on the internet. It scrolled by my Facebook. I really don't care that much about it. I mean, I like James Gunn as a director, and I don't think his career is hurt by it. But I have to think that there had to be more to it than just these kind of passing old tweets. Because there's lots of old tweets. I mean, Trevor Noah has a bunch of passing old tweets that are yeah. But you know what? They were old tweets, and they weren't that bad.
He's just not funny. That's my problem with him.
Well, yeah. Well, of course, and that was, and he is the first to admit that. He would say, "No, that's because that was a joke I was workshopping on Twitter." New rule: don't workshop your jokes on Twitter.
Or in the comedy club or anywhere else anymore. Everybody's too sensitive.
You have to workshop somewhere. That's the thing.
That's my point, though. Everybody's too sensitive, so just stay home.
Yeah, but see, I guess to me, I don't think that when these things actually explode, I don't think it's really sensitivity. I think it's someone making a business decision based on other factors. And like I say, the fact of the matter is Arnold Schwarzenegger is still working, and he has as much Me Tooism thrown at him as any entertainer in history, and yet he still is out there making speeches and doing his thing, because at the end of the day, there's not a bigger scandal that people are trying to conceal. I think that, the one exception to that rule is probably Al Franken, but I think that had a lot more to do with just the fact that it makes for a good redemption arc when he runs in 2020. Because when they do the Al Franken story, that's the thing. He's brought low, and then he comes back, and that was also voluntary on Al Franken's part, rather than him really being fired or forced out. That was him making a decision to basically give himself a redemption arc in the Al Franken story.
Pop culture. It's too early for this. Come on.
All right.
Well, you brought it up, man. That was Ruby Rose.
Another one I think from last week we didn't get to discuss. Man, that's CBS All Access really wants my money, don't they? We're getting a Jean Luc Picard series.
Never gonna get it. Never
Jean
gonna
Luc
get
Picard.
it.
Yeah.
CBS Access.
Patrick Picard after he gets stabbed?
No, it's an older one. Patrick Stewart's coming back.
Yeah.
Okay, and granted, yes, I know he's still a legitimate action star from his wheelchair, and that is
nerds get him.
Professor X is in a wheelchair. I wasn't saying Patrick Stewart. I was saying he's a legitimate action star in his wheelchair.
For more than that, I mean,
no, but that's his last big action role. Is he was in a wheelchair the whole time. He was old man Charles Xavier.
Way to type.
Yeah. Well, yeah, he gets cast as old bald guys, so not a lot you can do about it now.
He's learned to embrace that at least.
But you know what was weird? I was watching Dick Cavett the other day on the Decades channel, and It was Ian McKellen when he was like young and beautiful, and young. I guess that was 1970s beautiful. I don't know, but he looked a lot like Ian McKellen, but like less wrinkly. And I think actually he's kind of grown into his nose, if you will. I think that when his face is pulled back, you kind of notice like, but that was the 70s and people looked like that. So I don't really want to judge it too badly, but I'm just saying it's always interesting.
You got the nerds fired up already, Phil. Charlie Usser.
Yes. Come at me. Yes.
I thought you were going to do for quality.
Oh, no. Oh.
You missed it.
That's your favorite, isn't it?
For quality.
Bing.
But,
anywho.
So, no, I find it interesting that we're finally getting a Star Trek series that's not a prequel, and it's actually, isn't it going to be, like, after all the other shows?
It can't be after. Oh, well, I guess.
No, I mean, the last show was Voyager.
Yeah,
and it would be a contemporary of the Voyager series. So,
yeah,
it's after.
Well, didn't one or two of those movies take place after Voyager?
Those don't count anymore.
Okay.
Since the JJ.
Place after. Well, yeah, except not for nothing. If they bring back a Picardiverse, that kind of negates the Abramsiverse. Unless it's a Picard that is from the Abramsiverse, and then that comes into its whole other mirror kind of story. But no, I don't think. I think. Let's see.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I'm trying to remember if I know Picardo was in what do you call it? In the one where they fought the Borg. But actually, no. First, actually, was the one after that.
The young clone of him.
Yeah. I think. Well, yeah, that one. That one might have come after Voyager. I'm not.
That one came after Voyager.
Yeah, I know. But I'm wondering. That was the last new when we got B4, and we never saw what happened with B4 and Data after that. So I gotta imagine that I think that actually took place before Voyager officially got home.
Yeah, because there is one of them. It might be that one where I think Picard is talking to Janeway, like on the,
Yes. Well, but that time they had like the quantum subspace communication, and they were
I think she was
because
I think she was back because it was like Admiral Janeway or something. They like promoted her.
Oh, wow.
And the timeline might shake out then. Not that they care. But this is a cash grab, just a gratuitous cash
Well, like you said with the J.J. Abrams stuff, once Spock went back, stuff got changed.
Yeah. Well, I hope they do more of Picard as a hard drinking, hard fighting diplomat. Where he's going out.
I want to see him on his drinking wine, chilling. That's all I want. That's what I want from this.
You want him at the vineyard?
It better be tea Earl Grey hot. So basically, what you two want is the Little Hellfire version of Jean Luc Picard.
All I know is that Picard always used to complain that, Patrick Stewart always used to complain that Picard didn't sleep around enough or fight enough.
Yeah.
That he's a starship captain, man. He wants some green animal women in here.
Which is what I prefer him to Kirk. I'm just saying, like, Picard's my captain. So.
Didn't he wake up in bed with Q one time? What's he want?
Well, who hasn't?
There's worse things to wake up to.
Yes. John Delancey. See, now here's the thing. If you're going to do a Picard show, you've got to get John Delancey in there at some point. Because, honestly, Q makes Picard. I don't think I don't think that without that first encounter at Farpoint, that the Next Generation is as good. I think that was where they really set the thing about and defined who the characters were going to be. Not the least of which the fact that Picard doesn't play games and all that kind of stuff. Although Sisko doesn't play games even more than Picard. That's why, because Sisko punched Q.
Close second.
Punched. Yeah, I love Sisko, man. Sisko is awesome.
Oh yeah.
See, that's the story I want to see, is the Cisco story. You know, I want to see what Cisco's up to in the cast of DS9. You know,
we might be able
What's
to get
Kieran
that.
Reese?
I think that might. I think Picard's the link, honestly, to everything
Yeah.
else.
Yeah, I mean, it's all great to get Picard. Like I said, as I think of people, I'd really like, you know, I mean, honestly, I don't want to see, like, the current captain. I mean, hey, if George Takei wants to do some cameos as Admiral Sulu, that's all well and good.
Oh my.
Oh my, yeah, you know, but I mean, I would love to see, like, the young Captain Sulu going out on his adventures. You know, that would be cool. You can get the guy who is Sulu. Yeah.
Yeah, John Cho is. You can never get enough John Cho. It's true.
Yeah, you know, I mean, I just think that there's so many great characters in there. Picard already had a series. I would love to see that. You know, if you want to bring someone back, bring back Riker. What's Riker doing? Bring back Worf.
Yeah.
What's Worf doing? You know,
I'm sure you're going to
what
get
ship did
cameos.
Riker eventually get?
I'm sure.
You know?
I'm sure they're going to.
Of course you're going to get the cameo. Maybe it's just everyone goes to the winery and everyone just sits around the table and
that's what we're doing. He's got a winery.
Oh,
and
there we
his
go.
friends come through.
You're gonna get it. You're gonna get an TNG reunion, and since Jin's mentioned it, you know there's gonna be an episode, probably like a season finale or something. You're gonna get an episode with Picard, Cisco, and Janeway. You know it's gonna. You know it's coming.
Oh yeah. They'll shoehorn Janeway in there. She really doesn't have any connective tissue to any of the other people, but you know, aside from that, they work for the same company. But actually, no. But you know, it'd be great if they do it as an anthology series, and it's like that series, The Captain's Table, and just have all the captains come on through. They all come to Picard's vineyard, and they say, "Well, let me tell you what happened the last time I was out, Picard." You know, you do these retro.
Listen to us, CBS. Nobody wants.
These are great things to do. Because, like I said, I mean, is Picard still a captain of a starship? If so, it's like, have some ambitions, dude. Yeah.
He's very much retired. I think we've established that.
Okay.
He's ready to be retired.
Yeah, but if
but then he's got to travel the spaceways as a hard-drinking diplomat. Because that's what he always wanted to do anyway.
I was gonna say, if you make him an admiral or something, isn't he stuck behind a desk? But if you make him an admiral, is he going to travel to different starships? You know, he travels to DS9 and he travels to wherever Janeway is, or
yeah. Well, according to Riker, when you're an admiral, you do get a ship, and you get to pick your ship. That's why Admiral Riker flew the Enterprise.
all good things.
With an extra nacelle, you know.
Yes,
Dead to retro.
that gets you to warp 10. Yes.
Yeah. Warp 10 is not a thing.
If you wish hard enough, it can be.
Warp 10 means that infinite space gets folded into a single point, and then you get like hyper evolution, and that's not good.
And it also helps you get the Klingons' attention.
Quantum slipstream, that's the wave of the future. Because quantum slipstream doesn't damage the space-time continuum. That was the whole thing. That's why they brought in quantum slipstream.
Yeah, but it just messed up. Isn't that the thing that messed up Paris?
No. That was Warp 10.
Oh yes.
When they got the shuttle to Warp 10 or the Delta Flyer to Warp 10,
the quantum slipstream didn't work, but the ship couldn't take it. Yeah.
But they eventually fixed the problems with the quantum slipstream with the help of Lieutenant Broccoli. Good old howling mad Broccoli.
Really? There's no nerd button? Like, this should have been like one long nerd button. Oh, you're slipping.
Yeah. Well, I don't know. He's the one that brought up Star Trek.
I brought up Picard. It's news, you know.
Well, Picard is Star Trek. And yes,
by demand.
But it was like, gee, I'd like to hear that. I mean, what do you want us to say? Oh, okay, yes, that's an interesting thing. And then we just don't talk. That defeats the purpose of a podcast, Philip. It defeats the purpose of a podcast.
I didn't hit the button this time. This was Love Hellfire. Say, hit the button. You guys are nerding out on warp drive.
I know. Like, it's Star Trek. Of course you're going to nerd out.
Of course. But I'm just saying, the point of these podcasts is we take a topic and then we discuss it of what we like, dislike, and would like to see happen.
Yeah,
so the fact that we're going to go off on a tangent on Star Trek, that's literally the purpose of this podcast, Philip. Remember when you created this
language the kids use these days?
I do. They love Star Trek. More than Star Wars. Fight me, nerds. Nerds.
Copyright infringement.
Yes. Well, I said NERBs, so there we go.
NERBs.
That's my turn of the phrase. Anyway.
So, next topic.
Si, senor.
Ooh. Wee-wee. Let's see. Oh, did you see, I guess, I saw this yesterday. I guess they confirmed Watchmen got a full series order at HBO.
Now, is this like a pre-Watchmen or post-Watchmen? Middle Watchmen?
I think it might be after. Didn't they say? I don't know if we're getting like the characters.
I thought it was before. Like I don't know. It seems like
it's before or after, but didn't they say it's going to be like different characters? It's set in the universe, but we might not see a lot of the characters we're familiar with.
Yeah.
So Arrow, but with more booty shots and graphic sex scenes. Awesome.
Well, I don't know. HBO's not doing quite so much graphic sex anymore. Really...
Obviously, you don't watch Game of Thrones.
No, I said anymore. And all the ladies on Game of Thrones have all said we're not doing quite so many gratuitous nude shots anymore.
Well, this is the last season, so who cares?
Yeah, but what I'm saying is because this is the thing, AT&T bought HBO. AT&T got rid of their After Dark section.
Oh.
So no more softcore porn on demand with HBO.
That's what Cinemax is for, though. Come on.
That's why his opposable thumb's working.
Yeah. Well.
Yeah.
Honestly, not for nothing. The whole porn market, it's it has all been destroyed by xnxx.com.
Anyway, reinvigorated by Pornhub. No, this podcast is not sponsored by Pornhub, but I just
Pornhub is awful. Pornhub is just filled with viruses and pop-ups.
That's XXXN. Oh, that layout. Gives.
Don't you tell Lilith Hellfire about Pornhub?
Yeah, don't tell me about Pornhub.
Look, as a connoisseur of the genre and its website delivery systems, I can tell you that
what Pornhub you're using, but you're using it wrong.
I just know every time I go there, it's a mess. That's why I don't go there. XNXX is nice and clean.
It might be because I have a premium subscription. I'm not sure. I'll have to see what the free section is.
So you're paying for porn. Okay, so yeah, that's
gold tier, man.
I'm using 4K. Don't judge me. You can give me 4K. I want 4K.
Yeah, I just need a little more K, like Echo and the Bunny Man.
Look at it's realistic sights and sounds.
No, you do not want realistic sights and sounds.
Lilith does, I guess.
Some people do. Don't judge me.
Lilith needs that 4K. Meanwhile, Charlie's just,
He's like 420, 480 is fine. 480p is fine.
128 kilobytes per second, man.
The only reason you should be watching porn in 480 is because it's on your phone. I'm just saying.
Well, I don't know. That's the most convenient place. I don't really watch it on the big screen. I'll be honest with you. It just
if you had a Chromecast, you could straight to your TV.
Well, no, I can watch it with the Fire Stick. You can watch it anywhere you want. Just go to the self browser, and it's very easy. But
he has children, Lilith.
Oh, damn it! That's right.
Yeah, well, I mean, it's more than that. It's a lot, and I like the personal nature of it.
Whoa!
Personal. It's like little telephone. Phones are great.
Save us! Come on, buddy.
I don't know how we got here.
I don't even know how we got here.
It's always that damn Lilith Hellfire. I don't know.
Yeah, I know. Just can't bring up Pornhub.
I know. Oh, here. Lilith Hellfire posted the Angel Chronicles. Did you see Buffy the Vampire Slayer? Fox is pulling the rights from Dark Horse.
I know. You showed me that, and that made me sad.
Mm-hmm. So is Marvel getting that now, or?
I hope not. No offense. Does Marvel even have anything that's like actually worth being rated teen for? I haven't seen it.
Well, you can do that. You can do that Blade Buffy crossover.
No. Those look like one of those two things that I just never want to see mixed. Like
you don't like chocolate, yeah, but you don't like chocolate and peanut butter, you communist.
I know.
Yes, but no. I mean that's like the only thing about it. Here's what I can say: they can have the entire people who are writing at Dark Horse come to Marvel and write, and it just becomes money in Marvel's pocket.
Yeah.
So. I mean that's the thing.
Yeah, but I'm just saying. I was saying the themes of it, and like it's a little like teen plus sometimes. And I haven't seen that from Marvel in a long time that they're willing to do that. Well,
they are bringing back the Marvel Knights.
Okay.
And honestly, they still throw out a Marvel Max every now and again.
I did see. I
think the last Marvel Max was only like 2 years ago. I think they did it.
Maybe. But I think I just saw, what was it, last night? I think now they're saying that Marvel Knights might only be 6 issues or something.
Oh.
Well, they test the waters,
Yeah.
That's the thing. That's the thing when it comes to pressed comic books. It's like, what is our market? What can we really get out of this? Because as I've said, most of what comic books are nowadays is the test market for ideas. It is something to come up with new toys and new T-shirts we can sell. And what can we incorporate into the video products that are our real bread and butter?
I can't believe Marvel Knights has been 20 years.
Yeah, well, it wasn't that popular to begin with. Because if it was that popular, it wouldn't have gotten canceled. That's the thing. It's like it maybe did good numbers, but
quality and popularity is, not necessarily mutually exclusive.
There are very popular things that are good, like this podcast. There are very popular things that are not good, like every other podcast.
What did he say?
Oh!
Well, like this
expressed by Charlie
podcast.
Esser, not those of us, Capes and Lunatics.
No, I'm picking. But the idea is that there are things that are popular that are bad, and there are things that are popular that are good, and there are things that are good that are not popular. But at the end of the day, if you're making things for a profit, you want it to be both good and popular. But you want it to be popular more than you want it to be good. So there are things that they will continue on a story. But then again, when it comes to storytelling, a lot of times, especially when it is an unpopular story or just not getting that readership, even the writers get bored with it. Because they're like, okay, I told that story that I wanted to tell. I'm not getting adulation or money out of the deal. Let me go write something else. Because, I told that
That's something Charlie Esser would like. Let me just put it to you that way.
Yeah, well, there are lots of things Charlie Esser likes.
We know. Discuss it ad nauseum when you're not around. Kidding.
Okay, no, it's fine. And I listen to the other part. I got the Sidekick's feed. I know all your secrets that you talk about me now, guys. I'm a little obsessed, I'll be honest with you. It's like, I don't talk that much about you guys when I'm
You know what? I was editing Jessica Jones cast, and I did hear a little Hellfire mention.
Well, that's because you're my evil opposite, or my good opposite, one or the other. I
she's the evil. Oh.
Yeah, no, I am.
I don't know.
I'm the Lex Luthor of this story. Let's all just.
Okay. Well, that's fine. That's fine. I like to think
I just show up and look pretty and spout big words, and then I'm done.
I'm gonna take that. I'm gonna take that sound pad from you, Philip. Just you wait.
Try from my cold dead hand.
That's the sad thing about Facebook is that it's not like MySpace where every time you went to Lilith Hellfire, you could just have that playing on a loop in the background. Have your own music playing when they saw your page.
You guys
whatever happened to MySpace?
I still have my MySpace page. True story.
Yeah.
You're the only one at the amusement park. That's sad.
That's not true. There's still some old people there.
Oh, is there?
It still exists.
It's community now, definitely, but it still exists. And if Tumblr ever collapses, that's where everybody goes.
Oh, we'll have to add that to our thing. Oh, follow me on MySpace.
If there was a Capes and Lunatics MySpace page, we could recreate MySpace. Because this is an award-winning podcast, people. Let's not forget that.
I might have to do something.
I learned how to code. Honest to goodness, one of the reasons.
With an actual Bowling Green professor on our staff.
Who would that be?
That would be Philip the Professor Perich. He is going to be professing at Bowling Green University. That makes him a Bowling Green professor.
Make sure you still one of those cap and gowns too.
I'm at least as long as everyone's okay with it, I'm going to try to get audio. So
yes, please do. Honestly, you should live stream.
We got to get D like a hidden HD camera. Come on, what are we doing here?
Yes.
I'm going to try to get audio for this. Who knows? Oh, video.
Well, here's what I'll tell you. Because that's in April. If I have an actual job by then, and I can actually take time off for a job, because I have family in Ohio, I could probably come and be in that room if I can get tickets to that event.
And I told you the Southgates are threatening to come, so.
Yeah, we could have a whole party.
Oh God, the nerdery in one room. The universe might explode.
And it's in Ohio. Tyler might show up, so hey.
Yeah, he actually lives in Ohio, he said.
Yep.
You mean he doesn't live in Kansas? I'm bummed. I feel like he should live in Kansas.
No, he's like Howard the Duck. He lives in Ohio.
Good Lord.
The Midwest needs superheroes too.
Now we just need to ship Lilith Hellfire up here.
Yeah.
Is there booze involved?
Okay, but yeah, I might look into that MySpace, getting Capes and Lunatics on MySpace.
We need it, man.
We're going to be hipsters, and we're going to love it.
Get some of those 65-year-old people. Anyway, so what the hell was up with this rumor floating around the internet that Tom Cruise is going to be Green Lantern?
Kyle!
You shut your mouth!
He's the perfect Kyle, though. You cannot deny it. He's not a good Hal. He's not a good guy.
He's going to play that
perfect Kyle.
He's going to play that hillbilly Guy Gardner. Shut up.
No. And then we kill him off and introduce everybody else.
No, he's going to be Alan Scott because they're going to have an Alan Scott, right?
Yeah, Golden Age.
Yeah, they're going to have an Alan Scott because they introduced the damaged ring. There is a damaged ring on Earth. And so before we get a Green Lantern, they left that Easter egg. Obviously, there has to be an Alan Scott somewhere.
That's too much logic, sweetie. We're talking about DCEU. I'm just saying.
You know what? I'm just saying.
I'm not giving them the benefit of the doubt on that one.
Here's what I'm going to say. If nothing else, it explains why the Lantern Corps didn't show.
No.
Because their record still showed there was a lantern in the area.
Bureaucracy.
Bureaucracy, man. It's like,
so relatable.
Wait, you're trying to tell me there's a Green Lantern here. It says so right here. That ring should have found someone else, and that would have been the Green Lantern here.
Totally like that. I can get behind.
And that's the thing. It's like, and I was like, oh wait, are you trying to tell me there wasn't a Green Lantern on this planet the whole time? Well, there was, but he doesn't know that he's a Green Lantern because his ring is damaged. He can make things, but for some reason he can't affect wood, and he doesn't know why. And for some reason, his villains are made of wood. No. Why is Solomon Grundy made of wood? I am Groot. I don't understand. I am Solomon Grundy. No. Oh, Solomon Grundy versus Groot. That's our big crossover.
No.
Groot hates Super Friends.
At Charlie Esser.
That's the amalgam version.
I just don't see Tom Cruise not doing something that's not Mission Impossible that he has full control over. Like, I just don't remember the last time I've seen him in a movie. He, bought the rights to that stupid John Reacher stuff.
Or John Reacher, yeah.
Yeah, so it's just I can't. John Wick is better, just saying. And the TV show I'm so hyped for, by the way. Good for Keanu Reeves, finally.
Yeah, well.
But yeah, I just don't see Tom Cruise doing it. Like, I don't know. I can't see it.
Yeah, maybe he said, "Oh, I could do that," and then it's like the guy who wants to be Reed Richards. And we all know Mark Harmon is going to be Reed Richards. So.
Oh, he does listen.
No,
Mark Harmon can get it.
Yeah,
because he's got. Honestly,
don't you agree though? I think that would be a good casting.
Oh, Mark Harmon can get it.
Yeah, well, here's what I'll tell you. You watch Mark Harmon in Glow. And you see him playing a full of himself control freak who does have a heart of gold underneath it all, and you tell me that's not Reed Richards with a lack of education. He's even doing time travel stuff in Glow. He's even talking about, the space-time continuum, and because he, comes up with the plot for Back to the Future and doesn't realize that someone actually made a film about it. Because he's like, he goes back.
Mark Harmon can get it.
Mark Harmon would make a fantastic Reed Richards.
All right, let's get the petition.
Yeah, I want Mark Harmon to play Reed Richards. That'd be fantastic.
Just when Lilith Hellfire thought she couldn't win a Fantastic Four movie anymore.
Yeah, and then you cast a Sue in there and get yourself a Johnny and a Ben. You got a show.
Who's your dream Sue casting?
Well, it's ironic because I would actually say based on Glow, I'd say, well, Brie Larson would make a great Sue. They've got a great dynamic on that show, but she's already cast. And not for nothing.
She has a twin. She has a clone.
Well, that with superhero movies. But you know what? But that's why Mark Harmon actually has the in to play Reed Richards. Because first off, the man looks exactly like Reed Richards. You just look at him and like, oh, Reed Richards, okay. And then you have the fact that a current Marvel star, who is sort of primed to be like Marvel's next big Iron Man. They're betting the farm on this one. They basically said, well, what if we took like the BA of Black Widow and the wittiness of Tony Stark and jammed it into one character and made her like kind of a military person like Cap. And they said, well, that's Captain Marvel. So, okay, so we'll have that. So they're putting all their money on Captain Marvel. No pressure, Brie. Don't worry. No pressure.
And the Oscar goes to...
Yeah, they got an Oscar for popular films now, so...
Yep.
Black Panther.
Yes. Yeah. Well, is Black Panther eligible for that this year? Would that work?
I think so, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, honestly, here's what I'll say. I think Black Panther probably deserves an Oscar, not just for being Black Panther, but hey, if they want to give it if they want to have a popular film category, it pretty much is an Oscar.
That's a topic we need to have in and of itself, because I feel a certain way about that.
What, an Oscar special?
No, not an Oscar special, just the topic of a popular film for Oscar. It's like, isn't that kind of what, it's a little redundant. I sense a little double redundancy here.
Well, because that show is so out of touch, and all the ones that get best
it's out of touch because of the Academy. Maybe that Academy needs to have a different setup. Just saying.
Yeah, well, they need a better system to allow people into the Academy, because that's the problem, is that they're so restrictive in who gets to be an Academy member that you can't get young blood into the Academy.
But to be fair, it is about the arts and sciences originally of the film industry. So, I mean, it's just the whole thing about it.
No, but the fact of the matter is it was founded by popular artists, It was, the Academy, had...
The whole award ceremony, self-congratulatory circle jerk thing is overdone. Oh, can I not?
Yeah, I mean, this...
You kiss random men with that dirty mouth?
This wasn't Truffaut,
They wish.
Hopefully. No, but but it's always and not for nothing. Even the most popular artists want to be,
I mean, that's what the Cyber Awards are for. Don't film it. You can have that party. I don't want to see it. TNT, keep it to yourself. And the biggest joke of all, of course, is I won't even say. I shouldn't even say. But yeah, it's just Oscars are done. Just let it be.
But I thought that's what everyone was theorizing about, is that they came up with this most popular category so Black Panther could get an Oscar.
Well, yeah,
and on some of the technical stuff.
Yeah, but I think for something that's kind of like Best Picture, but they're not going to do Best Picture because for some reason they're like, oh, it's a superhero movie, we can't give that Best Picture.
I'm sure Disney could grease enough palms if they really wanted to. I'm just saying.
Well, not for nothing. That's why there's an animated film category. Mm-hmm. And I think that and honestly, eventually you're going to get that Best Motion Capture Actor. That's going to be its own category.
Andy Serkis deserves it.
Just for a Lifetime Achievement Award, yes. Although it's ironic that his most recent role, it was just pure, this is me, I'm Andy Serkis.
Fun fact, my favorite role for Andy Serkis, he was in 13 Going on 30, which is the female version of Big, starring Jennifer Gardner. Just a small little thing.
Yeah. Oh, what did he do in that?
He's like one of the guys dancing doing the Thriller thing.
Oh, okay. That sounds like him. Oh, I love 13 Going on 30. That's such a good one. And what I loved best about that is that there wasn't like a real redemptive arc, like where her kidness like saves the day. It actually kind of like bites her in the butt. Yeah, it's actually kind of like the opposite of Big, because just people steal her ideas and then...
It's because she's a woman.
Yeah, well, of course.
Yeah, so yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, no. Whereas Tom Cruise, he's like 6'6" and a man. So he just commands the room, even though he works in the mailroom.
He's 5'6"?
He's movie 6'6", okay? He's very tall in the movies.
With an apple box, sure.
Yeah. Dude, Tom Cruise.
Yeah, he's like 5'8".
I meant Tom Hanks.
Tom Hanks. Oh, yeah, he's 6'6".
We're talking Big. I'm sorry, we had Cruise. The filing system is bad in my brain. We know this, okay? It's like Tom.
I love Tom Cruise in Castaway.
Wilson!
But we were discussing Big and why they listened to Tom Hanks and didn't steal his ideas. Because not only is he a man, but he's also a very tall man. And being very tall
equals authoritative, yes.
Exactly.
Which is why I like tall guys. Mm-hmm.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
6'2" or better. Sorry, boys.
Yeah. Just gotta wear those lips, you know.
Wow.
Men can wear heels. That's why cowboy boots were invented.
Yeah.
That's why they were very popular in the 70s, man. Platform shoes. Suddenly, everyone's like, "Oh wow, you're so tall," and then.
Well, Hellfire's going out the cowboy bar tonight.
All my exes live in Texas for a reason.
I thought you weren't hungover. All right, who wants to talk some comics?
Yay!
I do. I got this. I read other stuff too. This, by the way.
New challenges.
I'm glad they're on my pull list.
Oh yeah, still.
I really like the new challenges. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, honestly, no, it's good. It's a great story. I've even gotten over the fact that Moses isn't Gus Gorman, because it's clearly supposed to be Gus Gorman, and they didn't. Why can't you just let him be Gus Gorman? But
clear the right. Somebody else wanted to use somebody else from one of the Superman movies.
Yeah, and we got this lady from Spiral who's been cheating Death her whole life, but Death always takes someone else. Green Arrow gets her fiance killed because Green Arrow's just bad at his job.
No, he's good at his job. Maybe we'll find out that her fiance deserved it. He had it coming.
He was a lawyer.
Yeah, hell yeah, he had it coming. Come
Lawyers
on.
are American heroes. And see, and just he's quipping the whole time as people are dying because he don't care. He's the 1%. Curse you, 1%. We're fighting mummies. Now, I did see the big twist that was coming, which is that all of these members of the challengers are they're all cross-dimensional time clones and stuff. So, you know, that's the craziness going on there. But my favorite part about this book, I don't know if anyone read this. This is the Snickers ad at the very start.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I've seen that.
And what's really important about this Snickers ad is it's not a replay of the dang TV ads with, oh, you get so angry when you're hungry. Have a Snickers. No, it is a classic poster style. Will save the day because the deliciousness of Snickers is more than the supervillains can handle. And that is how they defeat Gorilla Grodd, by breaking the mind control he has over the police of Gorilla City, who he's using as his henchman.
And if you like, discussions of classic Hostess ads, check out Quantum Zone.
Oh yeah. And just why does Gorilla Grodd not wear clothing?
What?
I mean, all the other gorillas in Gorilla City are wearing like clothing and armor and stuff. Why is Gorilla Grodd a nudist?
How are you asking this question? Most human beings wear clothing, and if you had your choice, you'd walk around naked 24/7. So how?
Well, true, but that's just because I'm cool like that. But I'm just saying, not for nothing, do other gorillas like saying, like, Grodd, put on some pants, really? Nobody wants to see that, Grodd. No one wants to see your Gorilla Grodd.
Nobody wants to see your banana Grodd.
Yes. And then I also got Exiles. Did anyone else get the chance to read Exiles?
Not yet.
Exiles,
no, I wanted to.
Exiles is a really good book. Oh, well, so they go to, and they actually, like, call out Secret Wars in this, and the incursions, sort of, in, like, a left-handed way, because they go to the 1842 world, or the 1892 world, whatever it was, you see, where we have all of, where we see the Brotherhood, the Magnus Gang. Where's the Magnus Gang? Because Pietro's being a cad. Right here, yeah, he's cadding it up. He wants the dancing girl to dance with him. And I'm Pietro Maximo. And Mr. Toad's there, having a wild ride. And you know, it's just really great. And then we get the Magnus Gang right there. They're fun. And they steal Iron Lad, because Iron and Magneto. Little Wolvie beats up Toad. That's cool. Little Wolvie. If you're a fan of Little Wolvie, and I am, that's pretty awesome. And then then we find out that there's someone else in town looking for the Maggots gang. You want the spoiler?
Sure.
Yeah.
Okay, you know who the other person is that's after the Maggots gang who's been looking for him?
Who?
They call him the King. Bum, bum, bum.
Noise. Might have to pick that one up then.
Yes, that is a good last minute reveal. I'm like, because they're saying, oh, they call him the King. I'm thinking, oh, is it Doom? Is it Doom? It's like, no, man, that's a Baron. This is the King. Yeah, this is the King. And so I can't wait for Exiles 7 next month. It's fully pulled now, so because I actually got this a week late. So, because I didn't realize it had come out last week, and so I'm very excited about this, and it's on my poll, and yeah, the Exiles are great, man. They're a good group. What did you read, Phil?
Well, first I was going to ask you, Lil Hellfire and I already reviewed this for Wade's World, but you said you read Cable and Deadpool Annual 1?
Yes. I read Cable and Deadpool number 1. I really like David Walker's take on Deadpool, and I kind of hope he gets to write more Deadpool. That would get me reading more Deadpool. I like the fact that he's really pontificating on the nature of comic books versus movies. I like Professor Deadpool. And David F. Walker, he is a professor. Not like I'm a professor, but like a real professor. And Professor David F. Walker. And I like the Professor Deadpool character. Reminds me of Professor Hulk. But with fourth wall breaking. And it's just a really great take on him. And so, no, I really enjoyed it. I mean, honestly, it's an annual, so of course it has, unless there's an evolutionary war going on or something, annuals are always kind of one-shots and wrap it up at the end. And, as Deadpool says, it's either in a different timeline or not in continuity, kind of thing. So that's the only aspect that is a little disappointing to it, but as a concept, it was pretty good. Oh, one other book I did buy. Tristan, can you hand me Dollman? Yeah. The one book that came in that wasn't number 1 when I got there, unlike Batman 66 crossover with the Archies, which I was so excited by, and then I missed. Yeah. We got Dollman Kills the Full Moon Universe. If you are a fan of Full Moon, and I was in my misspent youth, that's where Tristan gets it from. I was showing Tristan, says, look at that guy. That's the demonic clown Jack-in-the-Box toy. And he's like, oh, okay. These are things that he is going to be interested in. And of course, the guy with the I forget his name, but he's from the Puppet Master series. He's the evil one. He's the real evil one. And yeah, now Dollman has already had crossovers in the Full Moon universe and established that there is a Full Moon multiverse years before Marvel did it. Make a note of that. Marvel stole it all from Full Moon.
I doubt it.
Yeah, but and for those who don't know, Full Moon was like the Asylum when I was a young man. So they did, except the Full Moon I think wasn't like just basing it off of gimmicks. They were actually trying to make decent bad films. Anyway, so I'm really excited about that. I haven't gotten a chance to read it yet, but that we're gonna see. Yeah, see, right there, featuring the demonic toys that he fights first. And I'm hoping at some point he's going to cross over with Dr. Mordred, which was the Full Moon Doctor Strange movie that they lost the rights to, and they said, well, we'll just change the names in the script. And it's still a good film. So having him cross over with Dr. Mordred would be great. Yes. Anyway.
Miss Hellfire. Good.
Yes. I was going to say, but I love the Cable annual too. That was really good too.
Miss Hellfire, anything good?
Actually, I gave Bendis a chance and I picked up Pearl number 1.
Yeah, wasn't any good?
It's street level, so yeah, it was pretty good. It's very reminiscent of Jessica Jones, like the beats kind of follow it. But I don't know, I think I might enjoy it. So it's about a guy who lives in San Francisco. He's a tattoo artist, and he becomes an accidental assassin for the Yakuza. The art is gorgeous, though. Who was it? I want to say it was Michael Gatos. Yeah, that's who did it. So, I mean, does it need to be $3.99? No. But the story is, like I said, it's very Jessica Jones story, so I think I'm going to like it.
Well, that's good.
He'll take off and he'll actually want to get off of Superman. That's my. Everybody go out and buy Pearl. Support this book so he can get off of Superman. Please.
So Bendis did something good?
He did something okay.
Oh.
What did you say? I can't hear you over that TV.
Oh, I'm sorry. Is the TV too loud?
Sounds like the mornings at my Nana's house and it's The Price is Right.
Oh, good
That's
lord.
Okay. Anyway.
But yeah, I think you might like it, Phil, specifically.
I might check that out, yeah.
Is this a DC book or is it an independent?
It's a DC book. That's what surprised me. Like, this seems like it belongs to, like, IDW almost.
Oh, well, so obviously that was part of his deal. Obviously this guy is just taking DC for everything they got till they wise up. You know, he knows his time is limited, man. He knows that, these gigs don't last forever. Even these, like, big, fancy, exclusive gigs. And
what we should be talking about is Marvel trying to court a certain somebody back.
Yes, I was actually using that as the lead-in, and I set it up. You knocked it right down. Yes,
I am all for that. Mr. Byrne does need to come back to Marvel.
Yeah,
I can't believe it's been almost 20 years.
Well, he's been doing other things, and honestly, I would love to see Byrne come back. I would love to see him come back and do something with the Fantastic Four. I'd love for them to use all the. I would love all the surviving writers of the Fantastic Four would like the first annual.
Ooh.
To have all the surviving writers of the Fantastic Four write and you know what? I'll pay that $9.99, Marvel. I'm going to put that right there. You give me 10 short stories for $9.99. Well, actually, it's probably less than 10 writers that are still around who have written the Fantastic Four. But
it'll be like Action 1000, but better.
Could we get the final Stan Lee Fantastic Four story?
Shut your mouth.
What?
Don't you dare say that that would be
it's never fine.
Well, no, I'm just saying he might just never go back to it after that.
Oh, okay. Well, yeah. I mean, I would love. I will say this: I would love to have the latest Stan Lee Fantastic Four story.
Okay.
It doesn't even have, I mean, even if it's just, him, even if it's just Ben takes Franklin to the ball game, that's worth it to me, man. And then, Dr. Doom shows up.
And Byrne,
I'd love to see what Byrne does. Byrne can bring back Malice. It'll be great. I would love to see all these things.
I think that would be a way bigger deal than Bendis going to DC. I think he deserves the poster and the announcements and the commercials if they can make that happen. Well,
but here's what I'll say. I don't think if Byrne comes back, unless Byrne's going to rewrite unless they bring Byrne back to write the new Fantastic Four, which, I'd feel bad for the guys that are in it, but that is not uncommon that, quickly in that relaunch of a book, they'll switch the creative teams. Just because they usually have one creative team start it and then they have another creative team take it over. And if they brought Byrne in to do the FF, that would be amazing. That would be amazing. I would love to see that. And you know what I'll tell you about John Byrne? What I love about John Byrne is he is not going to let any continuity be forgotten.
Mm.
John Byrne is a guy who's like, no, that happened. So even stuff that was maybe stuff that he didn't like, he's gonna address it, work it into his own story, and move on from there. Like the whole Hickman and Nathaniel and I love the Hickman run, but it's like, oh man, how can you do this to my Nathaniel?
You know who he needs?
Make him a nice guy.
You know what character Byrne needs to redeem? He can unbend this Doom.
To be honest, they put Doom back to kind of a burnish Doom anyway.
Yeah.
So who knows? That might have been something that Byrne wanted. He said, well, if you put me back, I need Doom to be my Doom again. I
think they just wanted everything classic. They're like, okay, the team's coming back. We need Doom the way he was.
And not for nothing, we don't have an evil Doom yet. We don't have a full-on supervillain Doom yet. We actually have kind of a Tristan. Don't let that melt.
Got Nudist Colony Doom.
Yeah, well, no, that's not Nudist Colony Doom. That is Hyborian Age Doom.
Savage Land Doom.
Yeah. Oh, by the way, that was actually one of my favorite things in the whole Time Variance Authority, or when Professor Gamble. If you look in the background, there's a guy dressed like Conan the Barbarian on one of the dinosaurs, and it's like, yes. Hyborian Age reference. Because we do know David F. Walker does like the Conan comics. So
Yep.
There we go.
Yes.
You have to scroll way down.
Supercan Activity 150.
Still one of the proudest moments of my life, man.
He nerdboyed all over that place. All right.
I'm sorry, man. You can't ask me with a writer I admire to not totally nerd it out, You
ready for my pick of the week?
Yes.
Sure.
A DC book.
Oh.
Ooh.
Okay.
Batman 53.
Really?
What? You did what?
Good for you. I'm glad you still have positivity.
I liked it. Just, the way Tom King wrote this, it's just, he got into, like, religion about how Bruce Wayne's father actually tried to bring him up as, like, somewhat religious, and then after his parents were murdered, he's like, I searched the world, and, for, like, the meaning of life, I found nothing. And he actually gave a good explanation on, like, Bendis for why Batman's going back to the trunks.
Oh, okay. What was the explanation?
He's basically, at the end, he tells Alfred, he's like, after the whole wedding debacle and everything, he's like, Alfred, he's like, I'm lost. He's like, get out it's basically, get out the first suit. I'm going back to basics. I'm going to figure out, who and what Batman is again. And
okay. That works.
But yeah, I mean, you probably would have figured out this was my pick of the week if you people followed me on Twitter at Nightwing PDP.
Mm-hmm. Well, there we go. I don't go on Twitter that much. So.
Like 1,000 podcasts and reblogging those and stuff. Thank you, Philip.
What?
I'm too busy liking and reposting and reblogging and retweeting all of our podcast stuff. I can't do all your personal stuff too, Philip.
I know. I love where it's like, I know when you're on because it'll be like, you got like 50 notifications that are all Lilith Hellfire. Lilith Hellfire liked every podcast for the last 2 weeks. That's right, we do 50 podcasts in 2 weeks.
Did you say notification or nerdification?
Oh! Little Hellfire, you nerd.
I'm proud of it. Everybody should have one thing that they're a nerd of, at least one thing they can be a nerd about.
Little Hellfire is our Pornhub nerd.
Porn is interesting. From an aesthetic, like, no, seriously, from like all kinds of points, porn is very interesting.
It has its aspects, yes.
Nothing really like ticked all my boxes this week for like a pick of the week.
Ew.
I think I actually like Extermination the most. I read this week.
Extermination #1, yes.
Yeah. That is gonna be bananas. I like how they're slowly trying to clean stuff up, and this is how you do a refresh, I guess.
Should we do the spoiler? Well, I mean, Ahab's back. He kills Bloodstorm. Young Iceman gets captured. Someone's coming after all the young X-Men. But then Cable seemingly gets killed. And who is his killer?
Dun dun dun! Don't spoil it. Pick up the book.
Okay.
Pick up the book. From what I heard, it needs it. It's not doing good numbers.
Oh no.
Mm-mm.
Okay.
I mean, people might feel like it's gimmicky or something. Do you know what I mean?
Maybe.
So they'll just wait around for the spoilers.
Charlie, we can tell you when we're off air.
Yeah.
Okay. That's fine. Or I could just read the book.
Yeah, true.
Yeah, true. It's there.
Although I don't usually read X-Men books because they're X-Men.
But I guess, I guess our friend Kelly Thompson is one of the writers on the upcoming Uncanny X-Men.
Yeah. Wow, she's so busy.
Oh, yeah.
Friend of the show. Yeah.
That's right.
Hardest working woman in comics.
Yeah, seriously. I'm surprised I heard good things about Spectacular Spider-Man 308.
Oh, I did pick that up. That was good.
I think that was the highest rated comic I saw all week.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like a 2-part Sandman story. He's having like flashes. First he was having like flashes to his past, but then he's like seeing stuff that like could be like future stuff too.
Who is Sandman or Spider-Man?
Sandman.
Oh, okay.
So basically, it almost like looks like he's dying and stuff. But then,
and Travis, are you just not gonna pick up the Archie and Batman?
I mean, I hate to pick stuff up on issue 2 because like something happened in issue 1 and now I don't know what's going on. I mean, I guess I might.
You can't find issue 1. They didn't still have it at the shop.
No, it was just issue 2. You know.
Oh.
And I'm also not for nothing. I'm really cautious in my book buying because it's an addiction and it's a problem. And like my paycheck didn't get delivered on Friday. It might get delivered sometime today, but honestly, I'm like right now. I'm like really counting all my pennies until my first big paycheck comes in. And so I was like, oh, okay. I mean, I certainly want to read it. You know, I love Batman 66. I actually really do have. I love the fact that it has like classic Archie art style.
Yeah. Which
I thought was neat. You know, as a nice crossover with the 66 Batman, which actually is sort of a traditional comic book art style. So I am interested that, you know, they have different artistic styles, but have very possibly similar feels in the way that they're approaching things, you know? And so I'm interested in the concept. I just, you know, I didn't get it. And like I said, Dollman kills the Full Moon universe.
Well, it ticked all your nerd boxes, so.
Full Moon has its own imprint now. I just noticed that. This is actually a Full Moon comic. So.
Lilith, did you read Astonishing X-Men Annual 1?
I did!
What did you think?
I thought it was fun. It had some kind of like weird callbacks and choices, but I thought it was fun. But it's not really what I want out of an X-Men book, I guess.
Professor X is more of a jerk.
Yeah, I know. It's like, the older I get, the less I like Professor X, and it's such a bummer.
Well, they kind of make him, he's kind of like, he's kind of more of a jerk since he took over Phantom X's body.
Did he do a mind swap?
His mind was basically, his body died, but his mind was like on the astral plane. The Shadow King had him, and then, I guess to come back to life, he basically made a deal with Phantom X to take over his body.
Yeah. Like, okay. I mean, enough with him being in other people's bodies. Like, that story's so done to death.
Well, I just wonder if that's another thing Extermination's going to clean up or something.
I hope so. I think that's why Extermination, I have high hopes for that book.
Yeah.
I'm not even sure how that works. And according to Professor X, that shouldn't work at all because, as he said, the brain is an organic device. It cannot be made to think it's someone else, you know, that it would eventually rebel against it. But then again, maybe it's because did Phantom X say, okay, I'm going to make this deal with you?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, so what's the deal? What does Phantom X get out of this?
Basically, I think he just wanted some peace and quiet where, is he on the astral plane? But even like even the X-Men in that story were like, I don't know if I buy that.
Yeah, I don't know. Well, that's gonna, you know, this is just the lead up to Professor X was secretly evil the whole time, just like.
What do you mean secretly? Like when you go back and read from the beginning, this man has some deep-seated issues.
He's mind wiping people. He's checking out young Jean Grey. I mean,
well, you know, not for nothing.
So.
That's because he's got a super
young and gifted with no oversight. I'm just saying. The more you think about it.
Not for nothing power that heroes have. I mean, you really think about it, this is not a power that heroes have. Heroes do not have mind control powers. It is by its nature an evil person's power. Magneto has a superhero power. He throws metal at things. That's a classic
superhero power, but yeah.
I don't know.
You could be a sidekick in any other universe, damn it.
Are you calling Jean Grey evil?
Well, she has been. She has a propensity for it, which is why I like her.
Exactly, because mind control powers are by their nature corrupted. That's how she was so easily corrupted by Weingarten, you know? Because it's like, hey, because basically when you say, hey, why don't you just control everyone's mind? It doesn't take a lot to get people to go over that line once you offer them that power. Mm-hmm. It takes real discipline not to be, you know, not to be evil. Even Doctor Strange has a hard time because he could do that kind of stuff too, but it's like, for him, there's a cost because it's magic. And second off, it's like, I have to be better, and I got my powers through hard work and discipline and study. And, you know, Professor X, you just walk up and was like, oh, I am Charlie X. Everyone do my bidding. You're like the Purple Man, you know? You've made me mad, mother. Go burn your face with your iron.
So that's another surefire way to know he's evil.
I mean, read this annual. He seems kind of manipulative in this annual.
Yeah. Well,
like I said, the older you get,
he was basically
this becomes very clear.
He basically just brings the X-Men to this town, and it's like, oh yeah, by the way, Lucifer's behind this whole town. We need to defeat him.
Lucifer as that's an X-Men villain, right? Not the actual like
the alien guy who originally crushed his legs. Yeah,
I remember him. Yeah. Okay, that's what I thought it was.
Mm-hmm.
Ah, Lucifer. Okay. Yep.
No,
Well, you
not,
know,
not the
you gotta
character
go back
going
and-
to Netflix for season 4 now.
What? Do we have
Pray for
Pringles?
booty shots for that show
Okay, have
too.
some Pringles.
Oh yeah.
Netflix is like their original programming has like this really weird sick obsession with A, showing full frontal male nudity, and B, butt shots. So fingers crossed.
Oh, hey, do you know what me and Tristan were binging last night? That was actually a really good series.
Did
The
you find it?
Awesomes on Hulu.
Oh,
And this is what I said. It's about like the Superman pastiche of this world has decided to retire and go off world, and he leads the world's greatest superhero team, the Awesomes, and he wants this other Superman pastiche, Mr. Perfect, to take it over, but he says, I don't want it because, you know, only you can lead the Awesomes, and honestly, Mr. Perfect's kind of a douche, as they say. Mr. Awesome has a son who is called Proc because he's Professor Dr. Awesome, but he calls himself Proc for short. And he's a super genius, but as far as anyone knows, he doesn't have any superpowers except he actually has. Only his dad knows he has the power to stop time because his doctor said you have to stop stopping time because it will kill you.
Ooh.
But you see that he keeps on doing it, and every so often he gets a nosebleed. And that's, of course, this thing's like basically exertion of powers get you nosebleed, as is the trope.
I'm proud of Hulu. Actually.
Yes.
They've grown up. They had a much better selection of original programming now. It used to be
Hulu has amazing original programming, but you know what? The thing is like none of it is universal tied. You know, there's nothing that, oh, hey, I'm going to go see this. So, like, everything I've seen on Hulu I've liked so far. I have not seen Handmaid's Tale, but that doesn't need my help. You know, that's very popular on its own. But it's like, okay, Quick Draw. I loved. Hilarious. It's the Orville in the Old West. It's great.
I was watching that one with the kid from Breaking Bad about the cult. Like, I'm like obsessed with it. I started last night, and I'm like 6 episodes in.
Yeah, that's a drama, I think, right?
Yeah.
I'm mostly into their comedies right now. They've got fantastic comedies, but it's because that's what it recommends to me, and because it knows I like comedies. And like Future Man, I fell in love with, and it kept on saying, "Hey, we think you'll like Future Man. We think you'll like Future Man." And like, okay, and like, granted, the first episode was kind of weak, but after that, it really opens up, and it's like, oh wow, this is such a great, complex, fun story about time travel, and about how we want to go back in time to kill baby Hitler, but you know, baby Hitler isn't so bad as a baby kind of thing. Except also, it's not really baby Hitler because it's actually this doctor that wants to cure all diseases, but it causes all kinds of problems that leads to fascism, unintended consequences. But anyway, it's a great series. I love Future Man, and then they come on saying, "Hey, we think you'd like Quick Draw. We think you'd like Quick Draw." And honestly, the picture on Quick Draw just made it look stupid. I'm like, I don't want to watch Quick Draw. And finally, I was like, okay, I'll watch Quick Draw. Hilarious. A hilarious show shot in the Old West.
You have to trust our algorithm, Charlie. Stop fighting it.
That's what it is. I got to. And they've been pushing the Awesomes on me. And I think, oh, that's just going to be potty. And no, it's not. It is fewer potty jokes than Teen Titans Go. And it is just really great. It is sponsored by Jack Links, which they really hang a lampshade on. Because every episode ends with
like
a
the
nice...
beef jerky?
Yes. So every episode ends with them doing a little Jack Links commercial as part of the story. Which is what I was telling Phil about the other day about like sponsored advertising in old-timey radio shows where you would have... What? Okay, that's fine. And, you know, so they would have a nice ad for Jack Links at the end of every episode. And it's kind of fun. I watched a couple ahead, but I'll go back and we'll watch the rest with Tristan. Because he interests me. We like binge-watching shows. It's a connection we have.
Aww.
Yes.
It's a connection I have with my bed, too. Yeah. There's
All
right, anything else?
No, I think we could do some shameless plugs. I know that's what you're itching for.
Who, me?
Oh, we're not going to talk about Hella getting dumped?
Talk about what?
Hella getting dumped? Oh, no, we talked about Hella getting dumped yesterday. Never mind. I forgot we already talked about that, so.
I know. All right.
Yeah, you keep that on Supernet, too.
You
check
can
out
hear about Hella and her love, her storied love life on Super Connectivity. Scroll down.
That's right.
Did you guys talk about Iron Fist only being 10 episodes for the new season, by the way?
No.
I think that's an improvement.
I'm sorry, what didn't we talk about?
Iron Fist is only 10 episodes? I didn't know that.
Yeah, for this coming season.
I did not know that. Although we did talk about Iron Fist, I think it looks really good.
Like I said, 100% less buck.
Yes.
That's a selling point. Okay.
All right. Full Moon superfan Charlie Esser, where can people find you?
Well, you can always write to me in that old-fashioned email way, the way our moms and pods once did, at superconnectivityblog@gmail.com. That's superconnectivityblog, all one word, @gmail.com. And, of course, follow me on the Twitters as I live tweet shows that aren't on right now, but when they come back, I will tweet them at Charlie Esser. That's CharlieEsser.
Look for today's in the middle for equality.
Thank you.
For quality.
Bing. There we go.
All right, and Pornhub superfan Lil Hellfire, where can people find you?
If you want to talk about porn or the DC TV universe, at Lil Hellfire. If you want to talk Smallville or Superman and love to swear, at Save Me Podcast. That's Twitter, Facebook, Pinterest, and Instagram. Save Me Podcast.
And, of course, you can always contact Capes and Lunatics, capesandlunatics@gmail.com. We're on Facebook, facebook.com/capesandlunatics, at Capes Lunatics on Twitter, and the voicemail, 614-382-2737. That's 614-38-CAPES. And if you want to get a hold of me directly to do an interview with us, all you famous people, nightwingpdp@gmail.com, and on Twitter I am at nightwingpdp, which you should follow. You would know my pick of the week already before we did this. All right. Anyway, thank you for joining us once again, because we have been, because no one else will be, the Capes.
Ampersand.
The Lunatics.
Way to commit, Lil.
Hey. Right there, buddy.
Oh!
Oh, bother.
She doesn't like us anymore. We're closed people.
Go eat some honey, Lilith.
I plan on it.
Big old pot of honey.
Oh, God. Don't slide that in my DM, Joe.
Ow!
A mess.
All her...
mead is fermented honey.
Mm-hmm. You bet I hate you, though.
All her Tinder things now will be like, hey, you like Winnie the Pooh? So do I. Oh, bother.
Yeah, I love Oh Bother. Like, that's the original Oh F It.
OMG.